Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
Good evening.
everyone. Hi,
good
Lito. Hi, Derrick.
evening.
Good to see
Okay,
everyone.
can everybody hear us?
Yeah, we're here and
Uh,
Yeah.
live.
Yes,
Hello,
we're
hi.
live.
Okay, we are
Hi.
live for this wedding photography webinar. Tonight, we are lucky to have three of us here, like in this cyberspace to talk about uh, wedding photography. We have myself, Derrick, Benny from Singapore, and Lito from the Philippines. Hey, applause to our guests. Yeah,
Welcome, Lito.
yeah,
Welcome, everyone.
yeah. So to everybody who is watching right now, good evening, and hope everybody is enjoying your Saturday. Okay, today we'll be talking about wedding photography, like I mentioned, but we are not really stopping it in the sense of like whether it's pre-wedding or wedding. So anything about wedding related or even pre-wedding. If you have any questions for us, you can either direct to any one of us, or you have a generic question that all of us can help you answer. Feel free to send your questions in. We'll very much like to have more so-called a relaxed and cozy session that we can also open to understand and hear a little bit more from people who is watching. Yep. Okay. So we'll start with a little bit of introduction. We have our guests from the Philippines to talk about to give an intro for first. We'll give it to Lito.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Singapore, and to all my fans in the Philippines who are watching right now, and I hope you're in good shape.
Everybody in good shape.
Yeah.
What kind of shape?
Well, I'm Lito C, and I am a wedding and portrait photographer for the past 30 years. And my style is simple, elegant, and dramatic. And of
Hmm.
course, I am a double master photographer from WPPI and a grandmaster photographer at the Wedding and Portrait Photographers of the Philippines.
Hmm.
Okay, that says it all.
Hmm. Okay. How about Benny?
Hi, everyone. I'm Benny, one of Fujifilm ex-photographer. I've been photographing weddings for a long time. Um, but recently I've got into like other genres of photography, like corporate, but I still do weddings. So in a short description about my style, I would say in three words, keep it dynamic, because I think when you encounter people from all walks of life, and they are all different and very dynamic as well. So there is no one style that suits everyone. So I think it's good to be flexible and to be adaptable to all your clients. Yeah.
Hmm.
Back to
So
Derek. Yeah.
okay, I'm Derrick uh, from Derrick on Photography. I'm a wedding photographer for over 10 years now. Shoot pre-wedding and wedding. My style basically will be towards more timeless, uh, a little bit more creative approach based on lighting and shadow kind of approach, as well as I like unscripted moments. That means moments that are real, moments that are what couples would like to remember about their wedding days. Basically, that's what I do during wedding days. Yep. Uh, okay. Um, okay. Before I forget, I want to share this. This is not something I wanted to share, but give me a second. Sorry. Um, okay. Of course, for anybody that have you whether you've seen our work or not seen our work, you can actually go to our this Instagram page to look at them, follow us, and hope that our work will inspire you. If you are an aspiring wedding photographer or anybody who enjoy looking at wedding photos. Yeah. basically we have very different style, which you can actually look at them and see how we approach our work. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So so wait, let me share off the screen first. Okay. Cool. So okay, I think the situation right now is with such a situation. How is wedding photography doing in every part of the world? Yeah. We'll start with Lito. How is it now? Heard that your site just opened up. Is wedding coming back?
Not actually. Here in the Philippines, we're having problems during this COVID lockdown. And so uh, recently, our government has issued like a modified ECQ, like wherein we can start to market our business and start rolling, to recover from the economy that was really hit, right? So, but unfortunately, our industry, the wedding industry, the events industry, is not capable to shoot right now. Okay, because the government doesn't allow uh, mass gatherings of people. So uh, that's it. So lately, I've been doing a lot of things like um, trying to take care of my business, the other business, which is the Bake Shop Dim Sum, the CB Tin Bake Shop Dim Sum. Okay, so I'm quite busy with that and offering some jobs to other photographers through selling my product, and they get commissions. So yeah, so the
Nice.
wedding here right now are being moved, and for most of my clients have moved their weddings next year.
Oh,
Okay, we lost Lito.
no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
okay.
What about
Yeah.
Benny? What about yourself then in this
In
situation right
this
now?
COVID-19 situation, I think it forces us to be a little bit more creative. I would say not in a bad sense. I would foresee if things were to pick up, places if you places of interest that you wish to shoot before, it's going to be less crowded. Unless you shoot very wide angle and you go very close to your couples, but I don't see a problem of like social distancing as an issue because I tend to give my couple a little bit more space for them to be themselves when I shoot them. So I think the social distancing part is not going to be a problem. But I think, especially those places of interest like popular areas, is going to be less crowded, which is a plus thing for couples because they tend to feel a little bit more intimidated when you shoot with more people around. And I think in the past we used to avoid people around, and this won't be a problem anymore. But I think when it comes to business wise, it is definitely challenging for all of us because we don't know whether to go ahead, especially for a person getting married. Um, they don't know whether or not to actually proceed with the wedding or, and then just do a simple one at the ROM. Yeah. So what about
I
you,
think
Derrick?
I think for myself, this year have been very interesting.
Mhm.
Like a lot of good projection from last year or how wedding sign up, and stuff like that. But come March onwards, uh, the whole ball game changed. I have weddings that are cancelled. All my pre-wedding overseas jobs are like cancelled as well, and weddings are postponed um,
Yes.
till an unknown date. So
Yes. True.
based on what we look at it this year, to be very honest, based on Singapore situation of the slow opening up, I would very much say if we can have even small wedding to happen by
It's really a
October is
blessing.
already a very optimistic so-called projection. So
Yes.
whatever thing it is right now, I agree with what Benny said. We have to live in a very creative thinking with a lot of positivity to stay afloat and then to plan for next year. Because I would say even for I have a lot of clients who tell me that say uh, they want to postpone. They are not even sure when. because there are so much uncertainty. But what I would look at it is I'm actually talking to some peers, some photographer friends, and they're saying that, oh, so next year, if we survive through this year, next year will be a lot of jobs. I mean, optimistically, that could be the way. Yeah, but then with a new normal coming up after this whole thing evolve, I would say I'm quite sure the wedding scene will change. I'm not talking about the virtual wedding, but I'm talking about physical wedding. I'm quite sure there will be certain restrictions that's going to carry on with it for a while. So I believe moving forward, wedding photography will still be around. It's just that the whole system, the whole approach will be very different. I mean, looking at the way Singapore contain and constrain how all this social gathering is coming about. But of course, as a photographer myself, I would say the next thing that possibly can happen first will be pre-weddings. Yeah. But of course, I also have clients that ask me, oh, so do we wear a mask to do pre-wedding? And then how?
That would be challenging.
I only can say one step at a time. Yeah. You can make it interesting to remember this interesting time that we experience through life as well. But of course, there's always other creative aspect. You can shoot it at home. We can reapproach how studio photography can be done, with a limited number of people in the studio. That is something to think about moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
I think we talked too much. We should show some pictures. Yeah, if not, everybody will be like falling asleep listening to these three uncle talking. Okay.
Okay.
We start with Benny. Benny, any interest, any pictures you'd like to share with us? I think audience would like to see.
In
Yeah.
which area? Okay, probably
anything.
what I'll show you. It's give me a minute. Let me try.
Okay, somebody mentioned, do you have any bad or memorable experiences at wedding?
Okay. Do you want to take the question first, or?
Somebody's no. I think you show pictures first. We'll go into
Okay.
that.
Okay, sure. Let me show you. Hang on a second.
Meanwhile, the rest of the people looking in, think of any questions, be it whether you are a hobby photographer or you want to be a wedding photographer, but yet the situation stopped you a little bit now. This is the time for you to educate, to learn. And we are here to really want to share what we have gone through. What we do may not be the best solution, but what we do definitely can give you some idea how we approach to maybe questions or problems that we face during wedding days or during pre-wedding shoot. Okay. How while Benny is preparing his picture, somebody
can you all
asked.
see?
Okay.
Sorry.
We look at Benny's screen.
Okay. Hey guys. Okay, this is one of the weddings I've shot in Italy. Well, just to share a little bit. It's actually taken with my very first so-called professional Fujifilm camera. It's done on the X Pro 1, and I have the privilege to actually photograph a wedding in Italy. And of course, it's photographed over there. What I want to share here is because for some of my clients, they are pretty busy. So sometimes they will actually come and say, oh, Benny, I don't even have time to actually browse through your website. So can you just send me a picture or two to actually show a little bit about your style and how would you do your wedding pictures? So I actually find this quite useful because I think one picture is never good enough to tell a story of the wedding. So what I'll do is I have a series of collages that I put together in some weddings, and I send this to my clients. And I think having a collage actually forms a very good story about how I would interpret a wedding. And well, most of the time, or I think it's just as simple as this. We don't even meet up until closer to the wedding because they're busy. And I think having a good pictures that's put together to tell a story of the wedding, it works for me.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, shall
So
we
so
take
is
the
it
questions?
something
Yeah,
like
sorry.
a album layout that you're doing, something like that?
Oh, this is actually not a wedding layout, but
Mm,
actually, if you realize that they are all optimized in a 16:9 format so that it fits nicely on the phone. So when my clients like open up and they see what I do for the entire wedding, not just the couple, but also because the kind of weddings that I love to photograph is cozy and intimate weddings. So I think with that said, they want pictures of their friends, a little bit of the details of the cards and the decor as well. And I take all these into consideration and see, oh, probably this is something that, oh, I mean, just before I send, I do really have a chat with them and see how the wedding is like. So I'll try to piece together something similar. So it's actually to actually build up the base of a communication before things get further. But what I'm trying to say here is that this is a very fast way for me, for my clients who are very, very busy, to actually get a feel of me without even meeting me. I think this is a very effective way of letting your pictures speak on your behalf.
So
Mm.
if they want to send for print, that is suitable as well, right?
Okay, I think
Or
a low
they
res.
have the
Yeah.
individual pictures. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, they have their
Mm, mm,
individual pictures, but these are just, I mean, for samples to actually show to
mm,
my potential clients, so to speak.
mm.
Mm.
I see,
Yeah.
I see, I see. Okay. So um uh okay, what about Lito?
Yeah,
Anything
me,
that you want to show, to maybe talk about a little bit of style of
a
work?
very unforgettable moment,
Ah,
unforgettable photos that I shot. Well, I was just caught surprised. So I was looking off my images. But anyways, uh, this is one of my image that wait, so yeah. So I want to share this one to your screen. Share screen. Application window.
everybody know how we do it
Oh,
now.
yeah. Yeah.
These are the
How about this?
Yeah.
technicalities behind the screen. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Did you see an
You
image?
don't see anything? No.
No? Oh,
Yeah. Okay,
wait.
it's coming up. Ah, we see everything.
You see everything. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hmm.
Because I just click this one. Okay. How about that?
No.
You didn't see
It's
it?
not opening up. Yeah,
Oh,
it's still a collage.
still in collage. This one, right?
It's still like a thumbnail of very small photos.
Hmm. Wonder. I've tried it a while ago, right? So this
Yeah.
is my screen. You see my screen?
Yeah, it's still a screen.
Yeah,
I cannot.
we saw your screen, but it's like
In
all the
collage.
thumbnails,
Yeah, it's all
thumbnails.
thumbnail. I
Yes.
think you got to click on the
Okay.
pictures, enlarge it first. Yeah.
Okay, then share screen.
Yeah.
Okay, application window. It's the same. How come it?
Okay,
How about
everybody's
that one?
watching. As you can see, though we are photographer for many years, a lot of things we are still learning. Every day is learning curve.
This is new. This is the new, the new normal. So,
Yeah, it's a new normal. Every day we're gonna pick up some new skill. Yeah.
so this one, this is the screen, right? You can see my screen. How come
Not
it's
yet.
not? You're not seeing it.
Hmm.
Okay, wait.
Open in preview.
There you go. I've seen it. There you go.
Yeah, open in
Okay, wait.
preview.
Because I didn't see it. It was delayed. So there's a little delay. Okay, it's a little delay. So, oh,
Yep. Okay. Okay. Well,
oh,
while we wait, maybe we can talk about
anyways.
some. Okay. Somebody asked about bad or memorable wedding experiences. Okay, we'll share some. I'll share some pictures in a while after uh, Lito. And is it okay?
Stop sharing. Okay. Well, a while ago we were testing it. It was okay, right?
Mm.
Okay. How about this? About that,
Okay?
do you see
So-
that?
No. Okay, no problem. Maybe I share mine first.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Since somebody asked about bad memory, I share one. Which I have a few photos to share. Basically, it's a wedding I shot uh, last year. And what happened is it's a beach wedding. And during this wedding, one day ahead of the wedding, I arrive at the destination. We do a little bit of like a recce the place, and then the wedding planner is telling me, "Oh, we have to. The wedding is going to start at 5 p.m. because of the lighting of the location. 6 p.m. is going to be dark enough to have fireworks." I said, "Okay, so cannot be delayed." So the next day, which is on the wedding day itself, um, at 4 p.m., it was drizzling, it was raining.
Oh
Not
my God.
too heavy, but it's enough to get everybody drenched. So there's this phone call coming in and out, talking about is the wedding going to continue at the beach side, because the location is just right after a golf course, which is pitch dark. So they cannot delay the wedding. So after a while, the planner said, okay, it's a go ahead for the wedding. So when I reached the place, at about 4:45, it's still wet, and they are clearing out the place and stuff. And then when people starts coming in, the guests starts coming in, and then the bridesmaid, the groomsmen, and finally when the bride comes in, let me show you pictures. It's already this light, this dark,
Wow.
and I'm already shooting this at ISO almost 5,000. Yeah, it's already very dark, and when the bride appear, okay, I just want to say again, this place, they never cater any lighting at all, zero. And for a moment, I'm like, oh no, when the bride arrived, let me show the next picture. Wait, oh, sorry. Sorry, give me a minute. My side also technical. Okay.
So Derek, is this one of the memorable weddings that you
Oh, yes.
did?
You know how memorable,
Okay.
it comes to a point that I was shocked because it was so dark. It is so dark. You know, when the bride arrived, top of the buggy is this dark.
Oh my God.
Okay, and it just keep dropping, and because the light just keep dropping, and there's no light, I have a flashlight, but the problem is it's so dark. Even I can focus it right, all the guests is just going to see darkness with a flash just keep flashing off, and I'm like, no, this is not going to work this way. Luckily, I got some small LED light. I got one big one and one small one. I straight away put it. You know, at that point of time, right? Because I'm only one person. Okay, I know some photographer company will have like 3 or 4 photographers, but this couple they hire me, one photographer, and the only thing I can do is before the bride arrive, I have to think how am I going to manage my lighting, and straight away I put one small LED light on my camera. I'm using XT3 then, and then I quickly, before she arrived, I fix up one light just beside the solemnizer. Yeah. And then after she barged in, this is how it looks like. It's really dark. It just keep getting darker and darker. I decided to use LED light rather than this what do I call it? Flashlight. It's because flashlight when it's too dark, it becomes very harsh. And focusing you may have a little bit of problem. Yeah. So after I use a LED light, okay, at that point of time, right, in back of my mind is really going through my basics of photography. Okay, what should I do? How is the noise going to be? Stuff like that. And then the placement of the light, I only got one chance, to be able to get, something still look decent. Yeah, something so I can still create a little bit more artistic effect with it, with just one light, and then with the good low light autofocusing and with the noise control. Yeah, I managed to still create some decent photos. Yeah, but everybody have umbrella. I'm the only one without.
Mhm.
Totally drenched. Yeah, and that point of time, I'm like, really have split second to think because everybody is crowding around. I really cannot move much, and I was quite lucky that my first instinct to place the light at the right place. Yep. Uh, yep. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That's my. Uh, After the ceremony, the planner keep coming to me and thank me because without any light, nobody can see anything. Yeah. So I'm thankful for that, lah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
how
question. How do you
how
make
many
couples comfortable? Yeah. Sorry, Lito, you're saying something?
how many assistants do you shoot during your wedding?
No assistant. Me alone.
You alone?
Me alone. 2 cameras. 3 lens. My main lens are the 23 and 85. 56. Sorry.
I can imagine myself when I was shooting weddings when I was starting back in the southern part of the Philippines in Davao. I was only shooting alone. So I know how hard it is to run, keep on running and a different angle.
Yeah. So I think at that point of time it's really very much on decision making. It's a lot of decision making to make the right choice, and a lot of times you only have that 1 or 2 chance to get it. Yeah. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Benny is saying something.
Oh yeah, no, I say there's a question that says how do you make couples comfortable? Yeah.
How do we make? Okay, I think if it's pre-wedding, I believe in a lot of positivity. People can feel your positivity and your friendliness, and if they see that you really want to make something work, they will join you to make the pictures. But if you always seems unsure, or you bring your temperament to a shoot, then the couple will feel very uncomfortable. Yeah. In fact, many years ago, I sort of talked to somebody who wanted to be a wedding photographer. Yeah, but I told the person, I say, as a wedding photographer, you have to be like an actor. Okay, why? Once the camera is rolling, once you're on the job, really got to forget your own personal feeling. You cannot, the night before your wife quarrel with you, or your boyfriend or girlfriend break up with you, and then next day you go to a wedding, you see people hug and kiss, and then your face is like black. You can't do that, right? You have to be professional and be there and do your work to capture those, and your client will feel it. I mean, that's my personal experience. What about yourself, Benny? Lito is.
Okay, we lost Lito. I hope he comes back soon. Okay, I think to make couples comfortable, communication is the key, and the key lies actually with the photographer. So I think for a shoot to be successful, we want to be ourselves in the sense that we can actually do the magic of producing great pictures. And I think the couple wants to be themselves. So I think as a photographer, we should take the initiative to understand and appreciate our clients as who they are. As I know, as a wedding photographer, wedding is really a big thing for brides. I think never in their life they feel the kind of stardom where they are like the princess of the day, that they just want to look good. So there, in a emotional aspect, there is a lot of emotional elements that can be captured, but we need to address them. Like for example, how is the gown going to be like? Um, uh, get them to talk a little bit about the gown, get them to talk a bit about the choice of the wedding, like the venues and all that. And I will start to gather all these kind of information, piece them together. So I think once the couple sense that you have that the initiative that you want to know them better, they give you their kind of like trust as well. Maybe I can actually share this story with you. I was in my studio. I was like having a chat with the couple, and I kind of like asked them this question: how you guys met? So at this moment, the couple was just like exchanging glances, and I paused that for a while. I said, "Hey, wait a moment. this is exactly how I want to photograph you guys. I can see the magic that's going on in between the eyes, and this is the kind of pictures I want to do for you. And the next moment, they kind of like kissed in front of me. So when such things happen, I guess they feel already comfortable with you because they trusted you to be affectionate in front of you. Then only then they are comfortable, and they feel that you give them a sense that they will be comfortable working with you. So I guess that's my style of working. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Okay. I think sorry. We jump back. Lito, is your picture okay? Let us see some of your photos.
I think
Lito,
we can't hear him.
Lito, can you hear us? Ah, okay. We can't hear him. Oh, it's okay. He went off again. I think sometimes some internet issue. I think Benny, you have good points there. Ultimately, we are there to photograph the couples as who they are, and sometimes we are really more of a storyteller or like a to go and capture how they are. Ah, Lito is back. Hi, Lito.
Mm.
Ah, okay. No sound. Okay, cool. Okay. Lito, can you hear us? Okay, we can't hear you, Lito. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's off. Okay.
We lost him again.
Sorry, some
Okay.
technical glitch here.
Okay. Do you want to take more questions, Derek?
Yeah, sure, sure.
More, yeah. Okay.
Don't okay. What is in the wedding photographer's bag? I think this is an interesting one because everybody uh, would have different style of shooting with different lens range.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, right, I'm totally on the okay. Every wedding I bring two camera, like I mentioned. Uh,
Yeah, it's the
so in
same
my
for
bag,
me. Yeah.
I have two
Okay.
XT3.
Mm-hmm.
I have the 16, 23, and 56. Yeah. But what's
16, 23.
important is I will also have another backup camera, which is a SH1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Hi, Lito. Okay. So the okay. Of course, on top of the these are my main setup. The which I'm very happy because I came from a full frame DJSLR, switched to Fuji. The weight is so much lighter, and then it makes me enjoy photography so much more, and then it becomes non-intrusive, especially because the shutter sound we can actually off it. And for me that's a great deal because at church, right, you really don't want to be in a quiet church and then the shutter click just disturb the whole ceremony. So for
Mm.
me that's quite a big deal. And when I move close to somebody to do a really close shot, really don't really want to let people know that I'm taking pictures. Yeah.
Great.
The backup camera to me is useful. It's useful because sometime I may want to, if I have some time, I may want to, put it up on a small tripod and then I can shoot a little bit of video behind the scene. Never know when it's useful for portfolio.
Mm.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Okay, I have two cameras with me as well. They are a little bit different in terms of a setup. One of the camera I actually have a flash on. That is called my foolproof camera. And of course, like what I mentioned earlier, I would love my pictures to be journalistic and to be candid. So most of the time, I would love to shoot with a fixed lens and without a flash available light. So that will be very much on my camera. But I think the one with a flash gives me the assurance that my exposure is going to be correct and the settings are all really proper. So in any case, if I feel that I'm already missing a great moment, that one will flash, I'll just grab hold of it and try to arrest the situation. You can say it's a life-saving camera, but I do have a little pouch with me, so that along with me, I carry along spare batteries. I never trust the percentage or the number of bars that you see on the screen, because especially in crucial moments, you don't want your camera or the battery life to fail you in between. So I normally check that very thoroughly, because you don't know how long, like for example, speeches is going to take and all that. And when you run your EVF for a long time, that may drain out your battery. So I'm very aware of like my battery life in my camera when I shoot. And of course, right inside the pouch, I have also the little X100. Because sometimes what I'll do is I may most of the time my fixed lens is a 35 mm, and having on the X100 is a 23 mm. That gives me a very good proximity when things just happen right in front of my face, and when I feel that the time is right, I can just whip up the camera and the camera won't fail me. I think it's a very good, like a catch of the moment kind of a thing, right? So yeah, that's my setup for very much a wedding day. Wedding day. Of course,
So the 100 is always with you.
um yeah, I would say it's always with me, or even I think it comes in very useful, like for example, if you pack your bags, that pouch stays with me, because towards the end you never know what's going to happen. Somebody will get drunk, or the couples will just like throw their bouquet, or do something really funny, and towards the end many great things can happen. And I think it's all about being ready when something unexpected crops up. So I think the X100 came in as a really a good catch of the moment for me. Yeah.
So somebody asked, is the Fuji system fast enough to be used as a wedding day photo camera? Okay, I have to say, totally and definitely. For me, I use XT3. I'm already, I always say that, the lock on is amazing, even at very low light situation. So, and slower, okay, for fast scenario, in fact, I don't see it as a problem as well, even with the continuous autofocusing. I think it's very accurate nowadays, that you can get, I would say, very good result. Yeah. Though for myself, I always observe. On wedding day, I almost use a single point, which I don't see any problems with the autofocusing and in fact, I never had a kind of like
Hello,
a
mic test. One, two, three.
hunting. Oh, Lito, you're
Am I
back.
Yeah.
back?
No.
You
Oh,
can hear.
it's good to hear
Yes,
you,
we can hear you
Lito.
now.
Yes. Yeah.
Welcome back.
You
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yep. Okay. Can you hear us?
Probably Derrick later will channel the question back to Lito about
Yes,
couples
definitely.
getting
Yeah.
to feel
Meanwhile, we
comfortable.
want to see his photos.
Yes. Okay.
We can't have him here and not showing anything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, mic test. Yes.
Yes, we're
You
Yes.
hearing
hear?
you good,
Can
Lito. Yes.
you hear us?
Hello.
I think he can't hear us. Can you hear us?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Built-in.
Can you hear? No. Lito, are you there? Okay, no worries. We pick up another question. Of course, we really hope to see his photos. Yep. Okay. But then you're using XT3, right?
Yeah, I have the XT2 and XT3. Of
So
course.
what's your
Yes.
workhorse lens?
Okay.
Shit. What's wrong?
On the one with the flash, I have a 10-24, because sometimes I do have when the random requests for like group pictures, and that comes in very handy. The 10-24 with a flash, and a fixed lens is a 35 or a 56. So my choice of that fixed lens very much depends on how much distance I have with my subject. So I pick from the 35, the 56, and sometimes even to the extent of me shooting like with the 50-140, because some of the weddings that I go to is like those long table weddings and in a ballroom which is not very big. So I don't want to be weaving in and out, because sometimes servers are serving food, and you don't want to like mess up people's dresses when you bump into like food service and things like that. So sometimes I shoot from afar, and the 50-140 gives me a good reach to be able to shoot from a distance and be very
So,
candid
Mike,
about the shots.
hello?
Yeah. Hi,
Hello, hi
Lito.
Lito.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello, mic test, 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Mic test, 1, 2, 3.
Lito, can you hear us?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
Lito, we can hear you.
We can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear
Can you
us?
hear us? Okay.
I can't hear you guys.
Can you
Okay,
hear us?
good. Great.
Okay, good. Can you hear? Okay. Can you hear us? Because hi Lito.
Hello, mic test.
My
Yeah,
test,
we can
hearing
hear
you good,
you.
Lito. Yes, we can hear you.
It's whether you can hear us.
Oh, he can't hear us.
Okay. We can hear you though. I think we heard about in the Philippines if it rain heavily.
I can't
I
hear.
think
There's
somebody
no
mentioned.
audio. I can't hear your audio.
You can
Okay.
hear?
Everything is at the computer already.
Oh, yes, we can hear you too.
Yeah, we can
Oh,
hear you. It must be the rain. Lito, can you hear us? If you can, then can you hear us at all? No? Yes? No? No?
We can hear Lito.
We can hear you. Yeah, I think it's the rain. Somebody mentioned that, raining, heavy rain, it will affect the internet.
can you hear me? I can't hear you guys.
I can hear you, Lito.
We can hear
Hearing
you.
you good. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I think no problem. While he fix up, we shall not waste
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
We start. We
Yeah,
continue.
let's go on
Yep.
with the chat. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Just share. Okay. Let's share a bit pictures. Just keep. Maybe I share one first. Okay. My style of shooting for wedding days, right? I like uh, the more journalistic style, the more a little bit more like a approach similar to street photography. So sometimes I like to have different elements. My biggest challenge every time I go to the wedding is not using 200 lens to zoom into a bride's face and see she smile until very happy. To be honest, that is not difficult to do. But the challenge for me is always if the bride is smiling, and if I can shoot a wider angle to tell more story of why the bride is smiling. That is always the challenge for me to do. So for me, when I go for a shoot, it's always open mind of what is happening there. And then if I can shoot the wider angle and have more elements in, I feel that is more of an achievement that I get. For example, this photo. Let me share. Yep. For example, this photo. I can just zoom in from far 56, but I can get, just the 2% there, the bridesmaid actually just wiping the bride's tear. But I step back, I use a wider angle, I get more. I get the rest of the bridesmaid and having the expression with a flow there, it makes a story more complete.
Mhm.
And I enjoy that. Yep. Benny, can you hear me? Or am
Yeah,
I
I
gone
can
as
hear
well?
you. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
can hear you. So,
Yeah.
shall
So
I share one as well? Or
yeah, sure.
okay, okay. Let me just share one as well. Hang on a second. Just, finding that shot. Okay, hang on. Let me try to share my screen. Okay. Can you see it, Derrick?
No. Yes, it's coming
Oh,
out. Yep.
yes. Okay, this is a couple I enjoy photographing a lot, and this is shot in Sri Lanka. Back to the question about making couples feel comfortable and capturing the moment, I think this picture speaks a little bit of that. They actually shared with me why they chose Sri Lanka as the country that they want, so-called their wedding venue. I think both of them visited when they were like courting during their uh, their earlier days, and they both fell in love with that place. And I got them to share a little bit about the little corners, streets that make sense to them. And this was actually near the Gao Fort, where they felt that it was really beautiful and it meant a lot to them. So what I did, this was well, it's not a pre-wedding shot. It's actually shot on the wedding day itself. But they kind of like allocated some time. They have like um they have the solemnization, and this is before the dinner starts. So we took them, not we, instead I think led them into this walk, into these like little alleys and places that actually they could resonate with. And I think what I mentioned earlier about having the key to open the couples up, and where they feel that they are in the element. And I think they are definitely in the element because these are the places they are so familiar to them, and they could connect with the language of love. And this is just what I want to share with you, like making stories or making sense out of the things that the couple share with you. Yeah.
Mm. So that shot, is it like you post them, or is it like it just
Okay.
happened?
Well, that's a pretty, I think it's a very, very good question. I think what we want to do is the shot um, to look as if it's not posed. Actually, it's not posed, but of course sometimes when they look sloppy, or when a little bit of things is not in the right place, we kind of adjust them a little bit. But back to couples feeling natural and comfortable, I guess when they are feeling really good, I think that feel good factor is important for them to be comfortable. And I think I don't have to do a lot to actually get such things to happen. But I think you just have to say things that meant a lot to them, that give them that trigger to feel that way, the excitement they feel about each other. Then say, hey guys, think about the time where you just met. Have you ever thought about how is it like, when today is your wedding day? How is it like if you just give her a magic kiss at this moment and all that? And it kind of like burst into laughter. And I think those are the kind of shots I want to record. And when they see it, they were really happy about that. And they were very happy with the choice of location as well. And as we talk about it, and yeah, at the end of the day, I think wedding pictures is not just about me, it's about my couples as well. I think it's a three-person effort.
Definitely,
Yeah. Mm.
definitely. Yeah, and I think they are very relaxed there in the photo.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I think that is
Yeah.
that is important. Yeah, at least you don't look
correct.
like a weirdo staring at them, having some, cozy time by the side.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And you can see that the process is very intimate. I shot that with pretty wide angle lens. I couldn't remember. It could be a 14 mm because I want to capture that surrounding as well. And I can't stress enough that when you build that rapport and when you have the key to actually open the couple up and they feel so comfortable with you can do these really close shots without them holding back in their keys. They say, hey, I think that I look fat in the photo. I think I'm going to look funny if I'm going to plant the key so close to the camera. And I think once that barrier is broken, you can see you get a very intimate and a close-up shot of that expression, and of course you frame it with reference to the background, which meant a lot to them also. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Actually, um, one thing I realized about couple, especially be it wedding day or pre-wedding day, that I have a chance to post a couple for some shots.
Mhm.
Um, Nowadays, or rather for a while, um, I'm always very keen on the before or after moment. Okay, what do I mean by that? For example, this shot. Yeah, can you see?
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's a candid
taken
moment
at
too.
Jewel. Yeah, I post them for a shot. Yeah.
Hmm.
So once that shot is done, right? This is
This
that split
is
second after that.
up after.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm, mm,
I
mm,
think
mm,
that's a very good point, Derek. I
mm,
think don't think about being too objective because you say you want that shot, but great shots can happen even after. So I think, yeah, that's a great one, Derek.
So
Mm.
for me, this definitely is real. This cannot be.
Fake.
There's no way I can get a couple to post something like that. No way.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
and it is
Mm.
something. Uh, and it's a bonding between the both of them. You
Mm.
almost can see that they have this synchronized laughter almost at the same tempo. And for me,
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. Yeah,
Nice.
because ultimately, no matter how much you post them, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Most of the couple we shoot are still not model actor or actresses. They will still have
Yeah.
this conscious facing the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
So
They're
I
all
tend to
camera
do
shy.
like doing this the before and after that split second shot. Yeah.
Mm.
So for people that are
Oh,
watching, this is a tip that I can share with you.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not
Don't
during.
after you
Think
shoot
about
put out a
before.
camera
Yeah.
or chim and then start looking at the camera. If
Yeah.
you are using your EVF, you already see the shot when you took it. Don't need to check. All right. So don't right after the shot start reviewing your pictures. Don't do that. There are always a lot of things happening right after it. Those are the time for you to get that shot. Yeah.
So to
Oh, this is
summarize, the tip
one
is
tips I can share with you.
yeah. So to
Mm.
summarize, the tip is before, during, and after. They are all important. Don't
Mm,
just
mm,
that
mm, mm,
during. Yeah. Okay.
mm, mm.
Hello,
So
Lito.
yeah.
Hello.
Yep. Hi,
Hi,
Lito.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
You
No
know,
worries.
restart everything. My phone, where I get my Wi-Fi, my laptop, my camera. I reset everything. I don't know what's
Okay.
going on.
No worries.
Can you hear me loud and clear now?
Yeah. Yeah. We were hearing
And
you.
we are waiting for your photos.
No, I'm not using this one anymore because I'm
Okay,
using
no problem.
all. Something's wrong with my capture card actually.
Okay, we can
Uh,
hear you. Okay, let's
Okay.
try sharing your pictures.
okay, this.
Everybody's excited and eager to look at your photos now.
Oh, hey, I'm going now. I'm opening my pictures in Singapore. Okay, can you see me now? And this is my screen, share screen. There's an application. Okay, did you see that? Can you see this photo?
Yes.
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 Sure. Finally,
Wow.
this is
Oh, is
this is
this
what.
at the
Don't cry, don't
title
cry.
nest or something?
Don't cry.
No, no, no. I remember this photo. It was very unforgettable because you were asking me a while ago an image that is very unforgettable. This is one of them because this was taken in Bhutan, and we went
Oh,
Hmm.
up like 3 hours hiking going up to Bhutan to the tiger's nest.
Right.
So it took me
nice.
3 hours going up, hiking with all my gadgets and my cameraman, my assistant. We were like five going up, and it was so hard because going up, climbing up there is really, really hard. people can attest on that for those who have been there. So um, unfortunately, it was raining that time because
Is that a real umbrella or is that a
yeah,
softbox umbrella?
that was an umbrella because we've been waiting for so many hours. The couple were inside. They're Buddhists, so they were asking for some blessings from the monk, and we were outside waiting for them. And when they came out, it was already dark and it was raining. So I said, "Oh my God, we climbed so hard, and then we waited so much, and then this is what we're going to have a few minutes to shoot." And then it was really dark, so I just used my flash behind it, and we did it properly. So it was very unforgettable, and we went back going down to the city without any light in the jungle. So I only use my LED light to see all the you know see the places where we're going down, because it was totally dark. So that was very unforgettable for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I need
Lito, you're mentioning that you have 5 persons with you, 5 assistants.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, one question that we talked about earlier on is, can you hear me?
There are two videographers.
Okay. So for photo, just for photo, okay. What's in your camera bag? And like when you pack for such trip or
Okay,
for wedding days,
my
what's
camera
in your
bag,
camera
I
bag?
use think tank. Of course, they sponsored me.
No, I'm
It's
not
every
talking about your bag. I'm talking about what's inside your camera bag.
oh, it's actually camera bag. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, of course, my two lenses, my two cameras, which is the XH1 and the XT2, XT3. Um, and the lenses I'm using is from 8 millimeter to
60.
400 millimeter.
Okay.
I'm using an 8 to 16 f2.8, and I have the 16 to 55 f2.8. I have my 45 50 to 140.
Sorry.
My 16 to 55, okay, my 55 to 140 mm f2.8. Those three lenses, they call it Trinity, right? And I even have my macro lens, which is the 90 mm f2.8, and one of my favorite lenses, the 35 f2. Okay, so those are the lenses I always have with my camera. But of course, my 100 to 400 lens. So those are the lens that
For all the
I
weddings, you bring that lens.
yeah, I bring everything. So I can cover, I pretty much all angles. So if I need a 400 millimeter, I have it, because we're using that inside the church when it's totally dark and you're not allowed to shoot very close. So we're shooting from afar and very unobtrusive, so people don't know that we're shooting headshots from afar. So that's it. And I have flashes and tripods.
Okay,
Yeah.
since you showed the photos and you climb 3 hours up, to the location that you shoot, right? They mentioned,
Sorry?
just now that shot. You climb 3 hours to the
Yeah.
location for the shoot. So how
Yes.
did your client behave after that? Because one of the question is, how do you manage your couple? How do you make your couple feel comfortable after walking 3 hours?
I can say I can't go mad, right? So it was just time. We only have like 15 to 30 minutes left because it's dark. That if you can look at the image again, it was really dark, right? It was
Yes.
already dark.
Hmm.
You can see the lights at the behind right behind the couple. And
Okay, we got
okay,
to
I'll
show the
show it
photos again.
again. Yeah. So if you look at the how do you call this one? It's not a church. It's a Buddhist temple. The temple, right? So you can see there are lights already. That means it's around 5:30 to 6 p.m. and we're still up there shooting the couple. So it's quite hard. And suddenly it rained. So
And
we
then you
just have
ask them
to
to smile.
Yeah, we just have to be creative, and
I
but
think
the following different
when a bad
places.
situation, if you happen to turn it around, that's when the moment become memorable, and when you capture it, it meant so much to the couple.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. And they were so thankful that I was so, very cooperative with them, even though didn't have enough time. Yeah, and they were
Mm.
thanking me because of my light, my LED light, because for almost 4 hours we went down. It's totally dark,
Oh, you
so
need to
we
walk
only
down the
rely
hill,
on the LED light going down. Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
another.
another image was maybe this one. You know, no. Okay, you see the screen, share screen and application window. This image, I know. This one. Hello, can you hear me? This
Yep, yep.
image
Oh yes.
was my second um, first place award at WPPI, and I was there at WPPI Awards night in
Wow.
Las Vegas, and then
Oh,
they showed
congrats.
this photo on the screen, and it's very unforgettable because
Do you
that was
cry?
my. Yeah, I cried. I was like, oh my god, that was my image. That's my image. So I went to the stage, and that's really my one of my dreams. Like to go up there and talk. And yeah, this is a wedding of a celebrity back in the Philippines. And uh, when I was shooting this image, everyone were in front, and nobody was shooting behind them. So I took my wide lens and you know took that angle coming from behind, and I then the videographers were looking at me because I was in their angle, right? So I took a quick shot, tried to hide everyone behind the couple. So after I got my shot, I went out and then shoot again in front, and this is the image, and I
Mm.
submitted this to WBI, and I won first place on this. So this is very unforgettable with me for
Okay.
me. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so that
Lito, I probably have a
was
question for you. I think back in Philippines you have the advantage of working with assistants. So
yeah.
probably just want to hear from you like how you actually put your assistants into good use, like how they can be deployed in your advantage in a situation of a wedding. Like I am sure you photograph a lot of big weddings in the Philippines. So probably just want to hear a little bit on that
Well, I
with you
had
working with your assistants. Yeah.
yeah. Right now we're shooting 4 photographers. I have 3 assistant photographers. One photographer does the table hopping. He take cares of all the guests, because the parents want to have every table to have
Good
a shot.
photos.
That's,
Okay.
so he take care of that, and my other 2 photographers are shooting at the reception. So while I was like editing my SDEs. Uh, there are only 3 photographers on that event at the reception. So, but during this time, I was shooting and not editing because it was a first dance. So whenever there's a first dance, I get out of my SDE and shoot the uh, the couple at the reception. So after shooting that, I go back to my room and edit the SDEs again, the same day slideshow.
Yeah.
So the advantage of us is we have plenty of assistants. Labor cost here is not that much. So and these assistants of mine, they've been working with me for so long, and they know where to hide. When it comes to first dance, they know what I like. So they need
Mm-hmm.
to hide behind the couple all the time whenever I shoot. Back shots or front shots, they have to be always facing at me for the backlighting effect.
Right.
So
All
if
right.
you
Thanks so
look
much
at
for the insight. Yeah.
yeah, that image has a backlight. It's a
I
backlight
see.
or triggered by a wireless trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another like I really fan of taking photographs, like really dramatic. And so I'll show you another one.
Mm-hmm.
Shares my screen, and this one. So this image was taken um all available light. Okay. When we entered the reception,
here in the Philippines, we are always given some time to shoot the reception without any guests. So this was the time where we become very creative, and I asked the lighting technicians to point all the light towards the couple and
Nice.
strike a pose, and then
Mhm.
capture it. So
Nice. Amazing.
I just get the rim light, the face of the couple, things like that. So that's it. And you want me to show more? Because I
Mm,
was like, okay, this one
yeah.
another image
Mm,
wherein it's very also it's a very unforgettable photo as well,
Mm.
because
mm,
this image was won the photo of the year in WPPP in the Philippines for the past I think last year. So this image was taken in Palawan Island, and
mhm.
we don't have enough lanterns that time. We only have, I think, three lanterns,
So
and
you
then
clone?
the two. This is our last lantern, because the two lanterns was burnt. It was
Wow.
burnt.
Okay.
The other lantern has a hole, so it doesn't fly. So I was like, okay, this is our last chance to do this. Okay, just pose, and then let it go after a few shots. So I capture every angle of the lantern when it goes up. Okay, so using Photoshop, I tried to incorporate all my shots into one image. So
Oh,
this was the
this could be
image.
like a advertising campaign. It looks really polished. This one. Yeah.
This is like perfect, right? It's the sky.
Yes.
Oh, I put a background light once again on this shot with the orange filter, so it will be more realistic. So there will be
Mm-hmm.
an illusion that
Do you
those
do
really.
you edit your own photos?
Sorry,
Do you edit your own photos? Sorry.
what?
Do you edit the editing of the
Yes,
photos?
I
Do you do it
edited, I
yourself?
edited the lanterns because we only have one. And I asked the couple, how many lanterns you want? Oh, we want eight. Because it's eight is lucky. Okay.
We want the whole sky.
Oh,
Guys,
thanks
how
to
many would you
Photoshop.
like? 100 lanterns? It's gonna cost you more.
uh,
So there is a lot of work.
yeah.
So yeah,
Thanks to
that's it. So
Photoshop. Otherwise, you owe them 7.
yeah, I took this one with an XT1. Remember the XT1 before when it came
Mm.
out?
Mm-hmm.
It's on an XT1, and it's still okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
good.
Yeah. So maybe okay, this one. I this one is a nice topic because uh stop sharing. Okay. This next image is a nice topic because this couple were having fight during the shoot.
Wow,
Okay.
that's memorable as well. On the other
And
spectrum.
I'll show you this. They were having fight that time, and I was like, "Oh my god, how can I take good photographs with this couple?" Because um, they were shouting each other. So I managed to control their anger, and I told them, "Hey, you need to shoot." And just can you see my image?
No, we can't.
Okay, so
Okay,
I'll
it's coming.
share it again. Okay, and this one and share. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's coming. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, nice.
Okay,
Mm.
so this image was taken in front of their house and a vacant lot. And I remember, since we don't have enough time, we started the shoot at around 4:30 p.m. and they were like fighting because the guy forgot the heels of the bride. And I told them that you know what, why don't we start shooting, and never mind about the heel, we'll take some half body shots, and after that, when the heels arrive, your shoe arrive, then we can
Mm.
start shooting whole body shots. Okay, that's fine. And then so we started shooting, and so of course we only have like 2 hours for the shoot, and this one was like 6:30 p.m. It's quite dark, so I told
Mm.
them to bring some lanterns, some electronic candles, and I spread it around the vacant lot, and I asked them to bring the chair from their house in front of their, because we were shooting in front of their house, right? So it's easy for us to bring the chair. So yeah, and everything was shot with available light in front of them, except for those two lights coming from behind.
Mhm.
Did you see that?
Lighting the lawn.
The rim lighting at the
The
back?
I mean the artificial light that's lighting the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Mm.
the lawn
Yes.
is like, yeah, there was a light there at the back with a spotlight.
Mhm.
I tried to lit it a little bit so there will be a highlight at the back. So
Mhm.
you can see the separation of the subject from the background. So I have another two lights behind them. This is very, 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 very technical. But the
Right.
light
So
source from our face, where the light coming from the electronic candle.
right. So
yeah,
what
Lito,
was your magic word? Sorry. So what was your magic word that stopped them from quarreling?
Of course, you
I
hate
know,
me
I know,
so
I know,
much.
I know. Must be we got more than one candle.
Yeah. So and when they saw this image, they tried to book me on their wedding because they already booked another photographer. But on that time,
Mm.
when they
Mm.
saw this image, they booked me a week before,
Mm.
the wedding. So they changed the photographer and booked me as the wedding photographer
Nice.
Mm.
because of this shot.
Cool.
They realized that they were like, okay,
Oh,
Oops,
he's
we
off
lost
again.
him again.
Ah,
Okay.
must be the rain. Must be the rain.
Okay. Shall we proceed to take
Yeah,
like
okay,
other questions?
sure. Maybe I also share one photo
Okay, sure.
that I took in Singapore, a pre-wedding shot,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe mention a little bit about my approach as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think just to share a little bit of style-wise different, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I've posted this on the Club X before. I think some people have probably seen this shot before. Okay,
All right.
can
Hi,
everybody see?
Lito.
Okay,
Welcome
cool.
back.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm showing a photo.
it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I took this shot in one of the in Singapore, and in fact, the interesting thing is when we reach a place, uh, I took about we only have about 15 minutes to have this shot done. It's at the Marina South Pier. In fact, we didn't know that okay, this is done at the car park of the Marina South Pier. We didn't know it wasn't allowed for photography. Yeah, we went there in the afternoon, and straight the first thing I saw there was like, oh, because of the structure, there's nice light coming down from the roof. Yeah, straight away I know because for me, I like a lot of light and shadow. I mean, for people that know my street photography work and stuff, that I mentioned that I practice on street photography and use it back in wedding, right? So in my camera, a lot of time I may have already have a preset of the highlight and the shadow, and the shadow usually push it down. So when I expose for the highlight, in this case, when I see all the lighting and framing, right, I know that I can put the bright right at the part that the light comes down from the top, and then the window, I it's good enough for me to frame the groom inside there. Yeah. So straight away, quick thinking, put them in because it's really hot. It's straight afternoon sun. I also don't want to let the bride stand under the sun for too long. Yeah. In fact, after this shot was taken, the Coast Guard actually is that Coast Guard? The custom people actually came up and say you gotta leave this place. Yeah. So uh, it's quite lucky. Lucky in the sense of even I can tell you where is it, you probably can't go there again and shoot. And for the couple, I would say that uh, it's difficult for somebody else to access the place again to have this same or similar photo taken. But it's a nice building with nice architecture, uh, uh, lighting structure for me to be able to create a shot of that. Yep. Okay. XT3 with okay, if I can't remember whether it's a 23 mm or a 16 mm for this shot. Yep. But that's what I usually do when I go to a location, and usually the light will point me to shoot. Yeah. And okay, some of you might ask me, yeah, would the groom mind because cannot see the face? Yeah, I've done it
Maybe
so
the bride
much.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But usually you see, the man is always the quiet one behind the woman. So anyway, most of the couple that come to me, they know my style. And of course, they will not be getting all the pictures without face. there will definitely be other pictures that I face. But usually when the situation or the locations allow, I will actually put in some of this kind of a little bit more creative approach kind of shot. Yeah, these are kind of things that I like to do, and to push it a little bit more for the style wise. Yep. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, nice shot. Was this
Thank you.
was that taken like noontime?
Noontime, straight afternoon.
So what
Nobody. Hmm. Photographer, we always like to shoot the golden hour, the blue hour.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
not every time you have that kind of luxury, right?
So what time is the wedding? Like morning
No,
wedding?
no, that one is a pre-wedding.
Oh, it's a pre-wedding. That's why
Yeah,
I was
pre-wedding, and
wondering.
then because we have a few locations
Noontime.
to run to, and then when we reach there, right, it's done.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Well,
um,
yeah, that's good.
mm.
Well, can I show another image like
Sure.
we did with the XP3?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, this one was taken like screen. No, I'm now faster how to share my screen. Okay, there you go. So this was every wedding we take really wonderful shots of wedding details, and this is one of the my latest shot using the ring, the floating ring with water, water passing through the ring. So this is quite very technical. But hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes, we
you.
can. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, we did this inside the hotel, and when we did this, I tried to close every curtain that we have, so it will become dark, and of course, we cannot just throw the water without any cloths underneath because the water will be spoiling all over the place. So we took the how do you call it, uh
Bathrobe, towel.
bathrobe, and
Mm.
put it underneath the ring so the water will not just spill out. So
So it's like a
we
one
tried
try.
to, yeah, we sorry,
One try.
one try.
Yeah, it's like a one time you get it.
You did
No,
it in one shot.
no.
Yeah.
We tried like many times, like maybe 5 to 10 times, a different angle, different style of throwing the water. And in Photoshop, I combined all those images
Mm,
showing those water sparkling, and that's it. So we,
mm,
we have two lights, one up and one down. So this is the finished product, and of course, how we we put those strings uh was in purpose to have that certain angle, because we tied the ring on both sides up and down so it won't move. Okay, so both strings, so there are four strings on there for the ring to place like that, because it's really hard for you to, if you throw the ring and you can get the right angle. With this one, you have the total control on how to shoot the ring. Okay,
mm.
by using the string. And of course, in Photoshop, we remove those ones. So these images are mostly the first page that you can see in the album, because I want my album with an impact. Whenever the client opens the album, wow, the first image they see is this image. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that when the couple opens the album, the impact is there right away, and they will be like very interested to see the rest of the images. And I always end the image with another nice photo. So I want them to experience the roller coaster ride of all the images that we've shot and bind it in the
Mm,
album. Yeah. So that's it.
I see.
Okay.
So that is like for you to plan. Those are the detailed shot that you shoot during the wedding days for you to use it in the album, like to create a flow, create a story.
Yes, yes,
Mm,
yes,
mm,
of
mm,
course. When we're shooting wedding, there should be some your album should be there should be like emotions and capturing real moments, right? And of course,
mm,
you cannot just do most of the time like all all your images are candid moments. You should be doing some great things like this kind of shots that no one is doing, like something different that they have seen. Like most of the photographers right now, you just put the ring on a plain cloth and then take a shot. Everybody's doing that. So in our company, we try to make something really new, something really different that they haven't seen yet. That's why most of our clients, they still book us and refer us for weddings because they see that we are always reinventing our shots. Okay, so it's not like that boring before. Now, oh, I've seen that shot. I've seen that shot. So it's quite different most of the
Open
time.
mind.
Correct?
Well,
Yeah.
one question I'm always very curious about myself as a photographer, and then how does other photographer approach it? Like, the part that the night before the shoot, the night before a wedding, how do you all prepare
Oh
yourselves?
yeah. The night before.
Yeah,
Well,
Benny,
I don't
Benny,
have a
what do you think?
girlfriend,
Sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
I
uh,
think
so I
for
just go out.
me, it comes voice down to discipline because it's gonna be a long day ahead for weddings. So normally, one of the things I try not to do is no partying with friends, no eating
Correct.
of uncooked food, because I think if you take food that's not well prepared, I think one of the worst things that can happen to me in a wedding is actually a
food
diarrhea, which
poisoning.
I had once before, and it was terrible because I really endured all the way till the unveil and they kiss the bride, and the first person who ran out first was me and not the bride and the groom. So I tell myself that's not going to happen again. So I'm very worried about the food consumption the night before, and of course making sure again and again you've got all the necessary stuff like your spare batteries and your cards, and everything is in place, and make sure you don't leave anything behind before you leave for your shoot, right? So does
How
it
about
make it
Lito?
easier
Sorry.
yeah, for you little, because you have your assistants to do it for you? No.
Do you need
Yeah.
to call for
Yeah, my
meeting?
my team, they have been with me for like 15 years. So there's one guy in charge for that to prepare all my lenses, my cameras, my gadgets, everything to be used in the wedding. So a night before, I always make sure that I don't drink, okay? Because I party with my
Nice.
friends. But
Yes.
if it's a Friday and I have a wedding on a Saturday, so I always make sure that I have enough sleep, like 8 hours, so I have
Yes.
plenty of energy the following day. And yeah, that's it. So I drink vitamins as much as possible.
You're
So
not
and
meeting your girlfriend?
exercise a lot.
Mm.
Sorry.
You're not meeting your girlfriend?
After the shoot.
You want to talk about girlfriend?
If I meet my girlfriend, if I have a girlfriend and a night before, I don't think I will be very creative the following day.
Never know. Okay.
I'll be
For,
tired.
uh, for myself, I would say for the years that I shoot, right, the preparation stage changes. In the beginning, years ago, when you are very much at a more learning stage, and then don't know what's going to happen. I ever really did this at a Friday night. Take out a piece of paper, write down the things that I must shoot. For example, the mother must hug the bride, must kiss the bride. The this must happen, must capture the bride tearing, things like that. But then the next day when I go to the wedding and it don't happen, I am toot because the change of thought just lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
after many years, I realized the best thing to do the night before is to do nothing. Relax, have coffee, relax, have an open mind. Of course, the gear preparation part, you have to run through and make sure every single bit of thing is there working fine. But the mindset part, I prefer to just, have open mind. In fact, even when the couple send me a schedule, sometimes they can send me like a week or two ahead. I do take a glance, but I don't really memorize it. Maybe until the night before, I look at it one more time. At least I will mark down the important timeline, the important part, stuff like that. And usually those timelines is just for backbone for me to know that, oh, from this time to this time, what's going to happen, and how can I preempt myself during the situation to know what's the best I can capture at the environment. Yeah, because usually, okay, for Singapore wedding, we don't usually go to the bride's place until the wedding day itself. So you really have no idea how does the place look like, right? So you only
Yeah.
can imagine. Yeah. So based on the program, and then the next day you go there. Once I reach there, I will just look at the environment and then try to construct images in my mind. What's gonna happen later and stuff like that, and then open mind and wait for it to unfold. Wait for the story to unfold. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very much not much things that I do, but I also do stuff like don't eat anything challenging, like a lot of chili. Uh, don't have too much coffee. Though coffee doesn't take effect on me, but it happened once before, and it was scary. Yeah. So
Mhm.
so the prepping part, I would say, it means a lot. It means a lot in terms of the mindset. Yeah. To when you go there the next day, the mood, how you prep yourself for it. Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that is for me. Yep. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
the most
So
important thing is a night before you should not fight your wife. Don't argue with your wife.
the keyword is not just the night before, any other day. Happy wife, happy life. She's always right.
Yeah, don't argue with them, or else the following day you'll be in bad mood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So okay. Let's have one more questions. How do you back up your files? How do you
how
guys
do
back
you?
up your files?
Yes. Well, before we leave the hotel after the wedding, we make sure that we transfer it to another drive, and we don't delete all the SD cards. So as soon as we arrive the office, we already have like two files on the one on the external drive, okay, and one on the laptop, and always make sure that everything is being copied before you leave the reception, because sometimes you tend to forget the the files to load in your computer. That's it. So we actually, after a week, when when the couple got the files, so we only leave two files, two external drive, one for the editing and one for just backup. We just want to be sure that everything is being backed up.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
How about Benny?
I think it's pretty much similar to what Lito has done. We want an immediate backup as soon as a job is done. So it's also my usual practice not to delete my SD card. So just in case. And of course, you have a working file, and I back that up into another hard disk or cloud or whatever your choice. But it's never on the same place. And another thing I'll do in addition to that is when I'm on an overseas assignment, although my couples have not fully paid me yet. So what I'll do is I will do diligently. I will actually transfer all the images and save it in a thumb drive and say, there you go, have it first, because I don't know what will happen to me. So what if I'm kidnapped or something happens to the plane? And I think memories meant a lot for them, especially when they spend so much on a wedding and they go through so much in a wedding. I think you don't want to owe them all these memories in case of anything that's happened. So that is something in additional to what I'll do is I'll try to get a copy out and let them safekeep, and I will work on them when I get back to Singapore. Yeah. What about you, Derek?
Okay. For myself, okay. Talk about overseas assignment first. I've ever done overseas pre-wedding 3 location, 3 different country in a trip. So what I did was when I finished the first location, uh, I put in a thumb drive, but I don't give it to the couple. I mail it back to Singapore. I go to a post office, I mail it back, and then I fly to a second place. and then I proceed with the second shoot. And once I'm done, I put the first and second couple's picture into a small hard disk, and I mail it back. And then the third one, right? I also mail back a thumb drive, and then with the set, I'm coming back already. But the reason why I still mail one thumb drive back, right, is just in case. Just in case, maybe along the way to the airport you get robbed or things like that. You really never know. So I usually do mail back thumb drive back to Singapore for the files I've captured. For wedding days, I in the camera itself, I should raw. So I already have the two slot. The other slot is a JPEG backup. Straight away, I already have two copy. And then once usually at the end of the wedding, usually I come home. I will actually backup. In fact, one hard disk and one NAS system. And then the next day when I go back to the office, I will back up another NAS system set. And usually the SD card, I will only clear it after the job is complete. Yeah. So that is really just to be safe because you really never know. Card and hard disk, it is not 100% reliable. And the reason why I have two different locations, right, is really just in case one place goes on fire. You really never know as well. And I don't want that to happen. Yeah. If I burn together with it, it's fine. But if I'm not, I'm alive, then I'm also dead. If the pictures are gone. So usually I will have one set backup at home and then one set in the office. Actually, more than one set, but it's just that I always have one net system at two locations. Yeah. At the end of the day, um, the files are precious and important. After some couple can come 1 year or 9 months ahead for booking.
Derrick,
Hmm.
Derrick, I received some comments here that they want more photos, not of us both chatting.
Okay, sure,
They
sure,
want
sure,
more
sure.
photos to tell a story about, you want to learn. I think they want to learn more on the techniques and
The approach, yeah.
I understand. Yeah. So maybe I'll show you another image about
Sure, sure, sure,
a very unforgettable image. Is it okay?
sure, sure.
This one is very unforgettable. I'm telling you. Okay.
Let's see.
Have you take a picture of a bride naked?
No.
I wish.
Wow.
This
Mm.
if you look at that image, the bride is not wearing any bra. It was her call. It was it when I arrived at the preparation area in the room, she asked me if I can take something that's really sexy. And I was like, what do you mean? Do you want a boudoir or thing or anything? Yeah, something like this. Like she showed an image that a bride wearing like very sexy. I said, I can do better than that because I want to be more creative when it comes to things like that. So I said, okay, let's go. Are you ready? And she asked me, are you ready? And I'm ready. Then she just started undressing herself. And I was like, oh my God. The bride was removing her dress in front of me, and all of my assistants, the cameraman were like, okay. They were like, stunned for like three seconds, not saying anything because the
Mhm.
bride was not wearing anything except for the panty.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, what's going on here?
How is the groom's expression?
I asked the bride, does your groom to be knows about
Oh,
what
he's not there.
going on? And she said, yeah, she knows. I asked permission about this. Okay, so this, can you sign a waiver for me first?
Oh, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, and a waiver that it's your call, not mine. So I brought her in front of the veranda. There's a nice place there. So I put up a light. If you notice, the sky is really not well exposed, and I have this photix light, a small photix light extended in front of her, and asked her to, lift up her head. And my assistant was trying to make a scene on this veil. This is where I become famous because of the veil shots. So I try to cover her, boobs, so it won't be seen, using her left hand and asking her on how to pose properly to look sexy. So for those bride who wants to have a picture like this, all you have to do is to ask them to take a deep breath and hold their breath so they won't have tummy. Actually, the bride has a little bit tummy, but when you stretch your body like that, you won't have a tummy anymore, and you're holding your breath, so your tummy looks sexier than what you thought, bro. So, and ask the bride as well to crack her body and butt out, so everything is nice. So that's it. This image won first place in a print competition.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm afraid
And
I don't have any naked shots to show you. The closest I can get is probably a baby not wearing anything. This is Singapore, by the way, so we're pretty strict on that. So I think one of the things that you did really right is to actually sign the waiver form, and really a great thing to do. Right. Maybe I'll just share one on my site as well. But on top of wedding photos, I shoot wedding editorials as well. So this is done. Hold on, let me just get my picture ready. And okay, can you guys see it?
yep.
Okay, this is actually an editorial shot for a wedding magazine. I guess you approach it the very same way as how you would shoot a wedding, but of course, being in a magazine, there's a little bit more art direction. Of course, the designer who designed the gowns wants a shot of a gown to be laid in a certain way, and of course, we dress the place up with these fairy lights with a little bit of smoke. Well, it's not too difficult to achieve. But if you're wondering why, I mean, I would prefer the background not to be so dark, is because I think this is quite a undisclosed place. There's no proper road names to it. So the team that's supposed to come for this shoot ended up the makeup artist was on time, but the person who delivered the gown was late. So that's why we have to shoot, and we get a really dark background. Yeah. So what about Derrick? Anything interesting on your site to share?
Okay, I will show a few photos on the wedding day. Okay, let me just bring it up. This will. Okay, cool. Okay, wait now. Okay, like I said, I like to approach wedding in a slightly different way. More on the approach of like the street style, the more not so known stuff. So okay, this is at a wedding. In fact, a church.
I like that.
The MC announced, "Let's welcome the bride and groom." Everybody turned, look at the door. The next thing is one hand came up. One hand came out and like, it's just at that moment, it's like, what's happening? Yeah, but that the gesture is just telling you that we need a while. So, straight away in my mind, it's like, oh, something is happening outside. Yeah, but I like this kind of pictures that make you think a little bit more of like, what's happening at the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thinking
yeah, so things like that makes pictures a little bit more the not the norm. Okay. One more shot. This shot. Okay, I shot this in Japan, in Hokkaido, wedding. And they are walking out. Okay, the wedding venue is interesting. It's on the left side. But you need to walk out of the building, turn left to enter. So as they walk out, I want to take a back shot, and then I saw somebody walk past, and straight away turn and look at them. It's literally the kind of street photography style that you have a little bit of flow there, and then there's this curious look that looks in, to complete this story. So these are the kind of like story that nobody knows. Nobody in the what call that in the restaurant, in the wedding venue knows about this. But for me, it's like when the couple look back next time, they realize, something like that actually happened. Yeah.
Can I share one? Also, oh, you're sharing. Okay.
Sure. Okay, I'll let you. No problem.
So okay, I'll go ahead. Oh, speaking of which, I think I do have can you all see it? I do have a naked shot to share. But unfortunately, this is a naked shot of a guy, not the girl. This shot, it's actually, as you know, during the gate crash, and most of the guys would actually try to avoid doing all these stuff that it's listed by the lady at the door. But I think in this case, I think the groom in this case is a French guy, and he's all game for it. And you can see the cigars on in their mouth, and they're happily taking their shirts off. I think what I want to say is back to the choice of lenses. Sometimes I do, and I was sharing with you as the the lenses that I have. So in this case, I reckon that I don't have very much space to back off. So this is shot with probably a 16 mm. Yeah. So that's it.
Cool.
Okay, nice. That's a nice side. It's a really photojournalistic approach. Like the real moments happening, right?
Yes, that's
So
right.
can I share my screen another
Sure.
tip? The audience are like want to see more images like again. See my screen, guys.
No.
Okay, share my screen. Okay, how about that? I think the signal here is really poor.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still raining heavily?
Mm-hmm.
You see it? It's a top shot.
No.
Oh. How come what's wrong? So I will.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
coming.
I think I have problem with my signal.
Yep. Nice.
Wow. Wow,
Problem with
nice.
Where is this place?
Oh, this was
Lito.
taken last year, last December. It's a wedding in California, as the wedding of a famous celebrity here in the Philippines. Um, I know that this will happen because I was holding my camera and I asked my assistant, not assistant actually, it's my cameraman. No, my cameraman. I told him that when you fly the drone, make sure because we planned this shot before everything starts. So I told my cameraman when the bride is right on that spot, take few shots, okay? Because I was shooting close-up shots of the bride as well. So this is a very nice shot where you can see the entire scene where the bride
Yeah.
walking down the aisle, right?
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
this is a shot worth looking at enlarged when it's big in the album.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This image can be like a full spread. When you open the
Yes.
album, wow, amazing
Wow.
shot, like
Yes.
bird's eye view. So when we are shooting outdoor, it's pretty much easier for us photographers, to shoot like drone shots because it's allowed because we always ask if drones are allowed to shoot to be used in the wedding. So we planned this shot before everything started. Yeah.
Very nice lighting. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Awesome.
Okay, what can you share?
Okay, can I
Uh,
share one photo? I want to share one photo.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this one. Okay. I took this in Hong Kong. The couple like this estate, one of quite popular estate for so-called Instagrammable estate for people to take
Location.
photos. Yeah, location. So
Mm.
when I went there, I'm like, okay, the it's nice. It's nice, but the thing is the foreground is a little bit slightly messy, slightly a little bit more stuff. So I'm thinking, how can I still make a great shot and yet not including the foreground? So sometimes the best so-called gadget you have is your phone. So I basically put the phone in front of my camera to form a reflection straight away. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Straight away, and then it
Mm.
will reflect, what's on top. So I use the phone
Mm.
to add in the creativity. I mean, of course, I could have just used Photoshop later to flip it, copy and flip and stuff. I didn't want to do that. I was thinking, how can I just at this instant with what I have create something out of it? Just use my phone screen as a reflection to get this shot. Yep. Hmm. Keep it simple.
Nice.
Yep. Keep it simple, and then you'll be able to join into the couple. Yep.
Mm.
So when I look at the photo, they'll be like, did we actually is the place like that? You know, it looks different. I said, oh no, it's just some. I wouldn't even say post production, but it's just that I use something that I have with me to create effects. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Okay. How about you?
Okay,
Uh,
maybe I'll share a wedding day shot. Hang on.
Well, little there's people see look at your photo and want to get married again.
are you single? Are you single again?
And
Or
always shoot anniversary, right?
oh, the wedding anniversary. Okay.
And always go to US, the same location as shoot anniversary.
Okay. Well, this is shot during an outdoor wedding. I think in a wedding, instead of just emphasizing on the bride and groom, I think what we've got here is really love is in the air, and the dogs are also happily making out. So one of the tip I can have for like wedding photographers is also looking at a bigger picture. So I was sometimes when I had enough shots of the bride and groom, I will take a few steps back and look at what's happening around the wedding party as well. So I happened to see like this little dog that is very energetic over the bigger one out there, and he was like humping him from the back, and I stole the shot. I think what makes it interesting is this lady in pink like trying to stop that process, and yeah, I think shots like this is all part and parcel that you can take in the wedding day itself. Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy can't wait. The guy can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, this is another image where I can one of my unforgettable shots that I did. Seen it? Okay.
Mm.
This
Mm.
is a very sad moment um when when the bride look at her dad inside the inside the preparation inside the dressing room. You see the reaction of her father right on the reflection on the
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very sad because the next shot that I had with this was they were hugging each other because the father is has a cancer, and all he wants to see before he leave the world is to see her to see his daughter wearing a wedding gown. So it was very emotional moment for the two of them, and I have plenty of shots here wherein they were both crying because the dad was so happy that he was able to see his daughter wearing the wedding gown before he dies. So these are the things that you have to capture, because um bef- I was waiting for this moment, and I know because the bride told me that, Lito, my dad has a cancer. I said, oh my God. So I was, on that moment, I was thinking of, wow, this is going to be like a picture where I can create, um, really real moments. So I directed the father to come in while the bride was on that. When I framed the bride in the middle of the mirror, right? And I asked the dad, can you just come in and look at your daughter? So this is the thing that we really want to show to our viewers, that moments can happen if you plan it and create it, because it will never happen if you don't do it right. So like what I learned from Jerry Jones, WBPI, is don't wait for the moment, because that moment will not happen in front of you. You have to create the moment. Okay, so sure enough, I did what I need to do, right? So for photographers, if you want real moments and you know the story behind, you can create things like this, and wait for them to react on
I
that.
think that's a very good point. Like, as much as you want the moments to be journalistic, but I think if you know the story behind, I think we have the power to recreate all these images through like maybe a little bit of instruction, and I think that's a great execution there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see the connection actually. The intimacy is in the look.
The
It's
look of the
amazing.
father, because he's dying. Yeah.
Okay, I also want to share one emotional shot. Just one more.
Don't let
I
me
took
cry, Derrick.
I took this in a wedding in Japan last year.
Wow, that's a nice
Yeah.
shot.
So okay, in
Yeah.
their culture, they have this part that the couple will read a letter to the parents. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
roughly know that the bride's mom may cry. Yeah, and yet I just don't want to do a straight approach shot. So I decided, I saw a gap in between them a little bit here and there. I decided, if I were to, when it happened, I just preempt myself there and then wait for this shot to happen and then I walk away. Yeah. So it's a little bit more on the framing perspective as well. Yeah. So these are when the gears are really reliable. I go in, I know that at a lower f-stop, I'm able to capture something like that, and the focusing is, lock on and get the shot that I want and get the
What
emotions.
lens, what lens did you use for this?
This is a 23 1.4 if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
1.4, because of the depth of field.
Mm, mm,
It's
mm.
a
Mm.
wide range
Yep.
angle.
Yep. To get the emotions, to get the story. Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice
Mm,
shot. How about
Thank you.
Benny?
Well, let me share one of the wedding emotions as well.
Okay. And guys,
Mm.
maybe one more picture from Benny, and we'll take maybe three more questions, and then looking at the time, we are almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love photographing like outdoor weddings because I think it gives a very nice venue for people to interact, and when people just hang out and let loose, I love to capture candid moments like this. Um, well, I think a lot of my couples do tell me and say, weddings is not just about us; it's about the people around us as well. So, well, the good thing about cozy weddings is all these people that they invited actually meant something to them. Of course, sometimes they don't have the luxury to share how each and every one is special, but we try to pick up some body language, like how close are they or how are they connected. And sometimes when I just take all these shots and kind of like they're quite surprised. Oh, you just took the picture of the right person, and this is my so and so, and the story come after. So very much when I have very little communication with my couples as to who the guest lists are. So I very much go on a spree of like people watch, and that kind of like helped me get the kind of shots which I feel or I think it's nice, and ultimately it's kind of like connecting back to the couple, and they find it nice as well.
Nice.
That's nice.
Right.
Okay, one more photo, the last one, because someone
Sure,
told me,
sure,
how
sure, sure.
about Lito actual day? What's that? Okay, from Carmen. Okay, so this is one of the actual day that I usually do, creating candid moments. Do you see it? There you go. Yeah, real moments wherein everybody's busy preparing, but these are real candid moments wherein I had my 35 mm f2, and of course when things are happening and it's not perfect, so I try to how do you- polish it properly before I take the shots, because that moment is happening, but I can see the face of the bride, some of the faces of the bridesmaids. So I try to direct them as the moment is happening. So I make sure that everyone's face, except for the little girl who was watching in front of the bride. So something like it's like a storytelling wherein the little girl was looking at the bride that she wants to be married to someday. So, and I want all my shots to be clean, and just a storytelling that there's another, they were inside the room, that they're getting ready and everyone is helping the bride, things like that. So
I like the framing of the door. It's just like when one door is closed, the other is open, and it just opens up to a lot of expression in that room. And although it
yeah,
occupies a small part of the picture, but it speaks a lot.
yeah, because of the other room, like it's uncertain if you enter to this room, but because wedding,
Yeah, the
oh, it's
forbidden
uncertain.
rooms.
What happening next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going into another phase of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, Benny, you got
There's a
anything else to share?
I think we can take the questions, whichever that we have not
yeah.
answered. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a question here. As compares to Sony, Canon, and Nikon, is Fuji system fast enough to be used as a actual day camera? To be used
Oh, actually,
as an event day camera, I mostly see Fuji photographers use the system for slower photography. No, that's not true.
not true
Yes,
as well.
I
Not
second
true.
that.
It's not
Okay, maybe
true.
Lito, you go. Give it a
It's
shot.
not true. Before,
Yeah.
yes, when the XT1 came out, but nowadays the XT3, especially the XT4, it's fast enough for weddings. Like you've seen some candid shots I've done, like getting the real reactions from the subject, and the other brand like Canon and Nikon, maybe they're like comparing it to the DSLR, or the APS system, or the smaller size. But Fuji for me is perfect for weddings. You know why? They did not stop reinventing their cameras. Every camera that they invented, like the XT4 right now, is the focus is very fast, and the colors are really really nice, very very realistic colors. Those are the things that I've been looking for a camera. The output, it's always the output, because what's the need of having a very fast camera, or a very very expensive camera, or very futuristic camera, if you don't have the right output, right? So bottom line is the output. Even when hiring a photographer, when a couple hires a photographer, they don't look at the camera that you're using. They always look at the output of your images. If it's good, if it's clean, if it's properly exposed, properly shot. So that's the bottom line for me.
Yeah, I think
How
I
about
have to reinforce that, and I can't say enough. Well, I think Fujifilm system rekindles my joy in photography. I think Lito, for you, you started off as a film
yeah,
photographer, right?
yeah, for
Um,
10 years.
yeah. So I think I struggle a bit initially with the digital system because I think that the skin tones are not accurate. the highlights are always blown up and the shadow details are bad. You can't shoot in high ISO. And I think when the Fujifilm came into the market, these questions are all answered. Come to the question of speed. Looking at those days when we shoot with a film camera, autofocus is a big thing, let alone the speed and let alone all these bells and whistles that you actually experience today. I think we have to take a step back and look at how competent we are as a photographer and polish up our skills. Because basically, I think about capturing moments, what we need to do is to be anticipative about moments. So as much as the weddings that you go to, it is good to observe. And I think the more weddings you shoot, the more the level of anticipation is higher. Then even though like the first shot I show that was taken in Italy, X Pro 1 is a slow camera and I managed to get the shots. So I don't see why Fujifilm it's a problem for wedding photography, and especially what Lito has mentioned, the X-T4. If there's a chance for you guys to hand on, it's really an amazing camera. And it's very stealth as well, with the sound of the shutter being so silent. You can even be more discreet than ever. Yeah. What about you, Derrick?
I think the first few wedding I shot was on film as well. Then moved to digital. The so-called the digital SLR. And in the beginning, when I switched to Fuji, in fact, I tried using it and I was sold because the weight, the autofocusing. Okay, but of course, it comes a few generation. If you talk about XT1, I've tried XT1 long ago before. It still has some shortcomings, to be very honest. Yeah, and even the EVF have a little bit of lagging, I realize. But after XT2, it's amazing. It's amazing. I of course there are some people when I switch, they'll be like, "Why do you change to APS-C for full frame?" But in my opinion, there's no losing to it because um, the file size. In fact, nowadays the data in the files are amazing. The colors are amazing, especially skin tone. Yeah, and of course, the ongoing Kaizen that gives the new film simulations really got sent. Yeah, and I think uh, I have not tried the XT4 yet, but I read a lot about it. I'll definitely get a hands-on on it after this CB is open. Yeah. So, but I've really seen some of the work and stuff like that. It's amazing. Yeah. So for those that are using full frame and want to try, switch to Fuji, all right, I will say give it a try. No harm, right? Yeah. For me, I gone through that process and I was sold.
Okay, just remember, all my shots were taken in JPEG under Fuji.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't use RAW
Yes.
weddings. Okay,
Yes, the
so
JPEGs in Fujifilm, they are so great. And seriously, sometimes if you don't, yeah, they're so great, right? And you don't have to do very much to to enhance it. Yeah.
right, the JPEGs of Fujifilm cameras looks like RAW because of the dynamic range that can handle, right? Two stops, three stops on highlights and shadows.
Shadows.
Still really good. Unlike with other camera, other brands, when you push the shadows, you can see lots of grains. Unlike with the Fujifilm, it's lesser. That's what I
Yes.
noticed. That's why I stick on Fujifilm. I think for the rest of my life till I retire.
Okay, since you're talking about JPEG, let me ask you one question. One last question from me. So, what kind of film simulation you use for your JPEG shoot
I'm
for wedding?
using classic
Classic,
Chrome,
classical.
classic Chrome. Yeah,
Yeah, I like
ever
that too.
Mm.
Classic
ever
Chrome is
since
nice.
it came out. So I was I was blown away because of the quality of the color. When you compare your skin on your monitor, it's the same. It's the same color. Unlike with other brands, it's yellowish, reddish. But with Fujifilm, the skin tone is perfect. You don't have to
Yeah.
edit it. That's why when I shoot JPEG, all my adjustments like the highlight, shadows, and sharpness and everything. I transfer it right away to my phone and blog about it or post it in Instagram. No need for retouchment. That's one thing that I really like with Fujifilm.
Yes,
Mm.
so true.
So Benny is also uh,
Well, sometimes I don't even use a film simulation because I think the inherent properties of the sensor itself is already so organic. I don't even need a film simulation. But if I were to say have a film simulation, I think I will agree with Lito or the classic Chrome or Eterna. Eterna probably gives you a little bit more space towards the shadow where you can actually underexpose your picture slightly and gives you a higher tolerance if you want to push it in post. So yeah, but I think you hit it right at the spot, Lito, saying that Fujifilm it's just beautiful as it is, and I think it just brought back the feeling of me shooting with film. And Fujifilm being a film company, I think it resonates so well with the brand. Yeah, and
mm,
I'm really happy using that system. No problems at all in wedding. Yeah.
okay. For myself, slightly different. I use classic Chrome for street photography, but for weddings, I use Estia or Provia. But anyway, I shoot raw. So when I post production it, I still tweak the color that I want. Yeah. But usually is still bring back to as close as possible to what I see in the camera. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Uh 2 hour session. Great job, man, guys.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah. um anything else that you guys want to say?
Before I part way, I just want to share this thoughts. This how come it's not here? Okay, I can say it. Anyway, I just read it from here. Um, right learning leads to right thinking, and right thinking leads to right living. You know what I mean? The right learning, when you attend workshops, seminars, it leads to the right thinking on how to expose, how to compose properly on your images. And when you have the right thinking, it leads you to a right living, right? Because you will have customers that will be coming back and forth, hiring you most of the time because of what you can do. So you can have a right living, correct? Better life because you have more work, you have more income. So those are the things that I can give to other photographers, that don't stop learning. Okay, the moment you stop learning, that will be the time, for you to stop growing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So true.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
something to share as well. Every time, sometime I do get people who tell me, "Oh, you get this shot, you're so lucky." I'm quite sure most of us heard that before. You're so lucky you got this shot. I always tell them, uh, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Means you have to
That's
prepare yourself a lot, practice a lot, and when the scene happens, you have already prepared yourself for it, and you can capture that photo. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of researching, a lot of practicing, so that when the things really happen, you're ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Benny, anything from you?
Well, maybe just some parting words. I think many of the aspiring wedding photographers always uh, say, "Oh, how do I move from here?" And I think one of the advice that I always hear is shoot more, shoot more, shoot more. But what if I say, leave more, shoot less, so that the next time you shoot, it's going to be better? Because I think photography is a craft that comes from within. And I think the more you live life and the more you appreciate the things around you, trust me, the next time when you pick up your camera, all these little things you do in your life do have that positive influence in the next picture that you're going to take. So don't just emphasize too much just on taking the picture, because when you live life as much as you how you want it to be, I think it's going to reflect your craft, and probably keep track of your older photos. And I'm sure you will see whatever you do, and if with a positive consciousness, I think it's going to have a positive impact on your future pictures.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So it's a great session,
Yeah.
and thank you everybody for tuning in
Yeah.
to
Thanks
look at
everyone
us.
for tuning in.
Yep. And meanwhile, I have to say, for Singaporean, it's opening up soon. Tahan, endure. Very soon we get our freedom back bit by bit. But meanwhile, please take care. Stay healthy. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So to all Filipinos, just hang on. And I know everyone is having difficulty this past few months, and definitely for the next few months. So everyone should be, praying hard that everything will be over soon, that the vaccine will be invented. So we just have to, you know, confident to be confident, and we should be always consistent on crafting our skills, because once you have all these things, you will be competent and very credible to everyone for the next year's weddings. And there will be a lot of weddings next year, and in Tagalog we call it babawi tayo. There you go.
Right. Well, I think it's very much the same for me. I think as the before we even find the vaccine or to get the hand of the COVID-19, I think it's good that each and everyone play our role in keeping safe and healthy. And I think it's a community effort, not just come from an individual. So I think if we all work together and play our part, I think together we can overcome this. Yes, and always stay positive. Think of new ways about how you can approach photography, and I wish everyone the very best.
Stay at
Thank you.
home.
All right,
Stay
take
home.
care,
Be
everyone.
safe. Good
Cheers.
night.
Good night.
Okay. Thank
Bye
you to
bye.
Fujifilm Philippines and Fujifilm Singapore for having us. Thank
Right,
you so
Yep.
much.
Thank you,
right.
Fujifilm Singapore.
We'll try to have
Yes.
another session. 2 hours is not.
Right. Oh, the
Bye.
Ultraman pose. Yes.
Oh.